Today we're at Kentucky State University. This is Megan Goins, farm manager. You know, we were talking earlier about how many people have turned on to gardening the last couple of years. Even pre-pandemic, there was a lot of people, like from 2005 to 2013, the numbers went through the roof. During COVID, 18 million more gardeners came on board. A lot of those were millennials. So are you surprised at those numbers?
Not at all.
What do you think that caused that?
I think people are more aware of where their food comes from, and they want to know how it's being grown, what's put on it, how it gets to them. I think people are taking a bigger interest in where their food comes from.
Now here at KSU, I can imagine there's a whole lot of folks that you're around that you want to teach these things to and have never been hands-on. Today we're just going to talk about, so many people want to grow tomatoes.
Yes.
We know that, and we know why, because they're wonderful. And also peppers. Those are two things that are probably used in more recipes: tomatoes, onions, and green peppers.
Yeah.
So today, can you walk us through, let's pretend like folks out there have never done any gardening at all. Can you walk us through how you would start your tomatoes in home?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first you want to decide, there's thousands of varieties of tomatoes, and so you want to decide which ones you like and which are suited for the area that you live in and will grow well. There's different tomatoes that are disease and pest resistant, so I think that's the first step, is decide which kind of tomatoes you want. You get your seed. There's tons of different ways to garden. You can start your seeds in a greenhouse, you can start them outside. Today we're starting our tomatoes in a greenhouse. So we'll prep our soil, we'll get it moist, we'll put it into the seed trays, we'll get our seed ready.
Where do you order seeds from? Do you just kind of look through catalogs? How do you do that?
There are tons of different places you can buy seed. There's places online, they have tons of different varieties. You click on each variety and it gives you all different details about how to plant them, the disease and pest resistance. They run out a lot, and they have a lot back order. But if you get them in soon enough, like if you order in January, February, you'll have them by the time you need to plant in your greenhouse or you need to plant outside.
See, that's a good tip. Most people wait around till the last minute and they say, okay, I'd like to plant some stuff.
Yeah.
And by that time, everybody else is thinking about it, and next thing you know, you've got problems getting them in.
Right. If you order early enough, you can even order in November, December. When you get your seed, just store them properly in a cool, dry space.
And they can last, what, a couple years?
And usually on the packet, it'll say when they expire.
So there are all kinds of charts to look online about what area you're in, whether you're watching this in Oregon, Canada, wherever, and we have a vast viewership out there of folks all over the place. So you can look at what region you're in. Then I would suggest too, you look up what kind of tomato you want to grow. What do you want to do? Do you want to can your tomatoes? Do you want fresh tomatoes to eat right out of the garden? Do you want to do both? So what do you settle on today? What are you planning and why?
We have quite a few different things. Because we have a fermentation and distillation program here at KSU, so we'll grow a lot of tomatoes that we can process for different programs and activities for that. We also have some heirloom tomatoes that you can cut up and eat on a sandwich, or you can just eat fresh out of the garden. And then we also have a couple commercial varieties that it's a nice, big, pretty tomato and that grows quickly.
So just give us an example of what it says on the back.
Yeah, so this is an Amish paste tomato. It's an heirloom tomato. It's good for canning, salsa. You can also slice it up, eat it on a sandwich. It's just an all-around good tomato. And on the back here, it'll give you the planting depth. So we'll want to plant them about 1/4 inch deep in flats or cold frames, 5 to 6 weeks before we are going to transplant them outside. So we're going to plant them now, and then 5 to 6 weeks from now, which will be the end of April, early May, we'll take them outside because they'll be probably 2 to 3 inches, and they'll be a little hardier and can stand outside.
We do not want them to succumb to frost.
That's right.
We got wacky weather here in Kentucky, and things can happen.
We do.
So if you will, just kind of walk us through it, show us what the seeds look like. And again, this is basic information for folks who are just starting. Everybody has their own way, but
they're little teeny tiny seeds. Some people, you can just use your fingers and pinch them if you have big girthy fingers. There's lots of different tools like this. They help you get a better hold on the seeds, and then you can kind of slide them to the front and drop them in We have a container with some moist soil. You don't want to get it too wet, just moist enough.
Now, if you don't have access to soil, is that just potting soil? What kind of mixture is that?
This is Pro Mix. It's a seed starting soil. Your local garden store, feed store, and you'll just want to get like a seed starting mix or just a general garden potting mix. They make it very simple and easy. On the front of the bag, they'll say starting mix or garden mix, and then there'll be certain types strictly for tomatoes, and so you'll just have to go through and look at the different bags that they have available.
So here's our soil, there's our seeds, and that's basically how you get started.
That's right.
It's just that simple. So
Yep.
how deep are we going?
We're going 1/4 of an inch, which isn't very much at all. Some people can use the tip of a pencil and you just do a little hole, and then you just drop your seed right in there, and then you just cover it up. You don't want to compact it too much, but yep, you just cover it up just a little bit, and then you water it. You want to use kind of like a mister water. You don't want to full blast on the garden hose or it'll drown it and compact it even more.
So how often? You just keep it moist at all times?
You'll probably want, depending on where you're starting your seeds, like in a greenhouse, if it's really sunny and hot, you'll probably want to water them once a day. You just want to keep your soil moist.
Now, could you, if you wanted to, set these in the window
You could, absolutely.
in your own house?
Absolutely, because most people, their temperature in their house is 68 to 70. Some people go a little hotter than that, which is the ideal temperature that you want to start seeds with.
What's the rule of thumb for putting tomato plants in?
Depending on who you talk to, is the rule of thumb. I've had some people that say you don't plant outside before Derby Day. You always plant the Sunday after Derby Day.
All right, so the next step is to, we'll see where you're gonna put the actual plants once they go, and then we'll just take a visit next time we see some green out here. What else is going on the farm here?
We're doing a lot of ground prep. We have a lot of projects going in the ground. We're working the soil to get ready for sweet corn, potatoes. We have chickens, poultry, they're getting ready to start laying more eggs as it warms up.
You know, I keep hearing pawpaws.
Yes.
What's going on with KSU and pawpaws?
We have over 10 acres of pawpaws. We hold the USDA Clonal Germplasm Repository. Pawpaws are native to Kentucky, and KSU holds the largest research facility, full-time research facility in the world. We're doing lots of research and projects to breed pawpaws for their taste, the size, storage. You don't see pawpaws in a lot of grocery stores because they don't have a very long shelf life. Once you pick them, they have around 3 to 5 days, and then they're rotten. So that's one of the major things that we're trying to work out here at KSU.
There are going to be some people say, what is a pawpaw? And a pawpaw, when I was a kid, we'd be out squirrel hunting, whatever, we'd see these odd-shaped fruits and they do. They're on the vine for a short amount of time, then they start to turn black, kind of like a banana. Are they?
They're flavor-wise, they're a cross between like a banana mango flavor. They say anything you use a banana for, you can substitute pawpaw for. Cake, bread, ice cream, jams.
I had some ice cream up there one time, it was delicious.
It is.
Well, thank you so much. Step one,
Yeah.
we did it. Tomatoes in the ground. We'll be back. Thank you so much.
No problem.